Don't you? He's been our circuit judge for over 20 years. I just don't understand why he'd be so late. Oh, I should never have let the committee persuade me into having him judge our bake-off. I mean, I'm sure he's impartial and so on, but he's hardly the most pleasant person to have around. Have you ever been to court, madam? Why, he just bites the head of the clerk and the recorder and anyone around, not to mention how he treats the poor defence barrister. I think it all began when he joined the bench. As I recall, he had a small dog, a poodle. He loved that dog more than life itself, though for the life of me I can't think why. Fufu was her name. And do you know, he even had her hair dyed pink.
What is that pea by
Oh, Judge, you've made it.
Yes, no thanks to the weather. It's snowing cops and robbers out
We
there.
were getting so worried. The bake-off was due to start 5 minutes ago.
Hang the bake-off!
Oh, Judge, this is for charity.
Charity starts at home, and that's where I belong. I've got a backlog of cases I should be doing right now.
Nonsense. It'll do you good to get out and mingle. Relax a bit.
Oh, yes, mighty easy for you, a retired teacher, to say.
You could retire any time you like. I'm sure everybody in the village would celebrate. Oh, I didn't mean it quite like that.
Oh, you meant it like that, all right. And I'm sure you'll all celebrate. All the crooks and thieves in town would be sure glad to get me, the lifer judge, off the bench. Yes, replace him with one of those do-gooders. But I'm going to stay on that bench until my dying breath send in the verming of society to the judge desserts.
Talking of desserts,
Yeah.
why don't you come up here?
I don't know why I'm doing this. So I hate sweets.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
Yeah, well, sweets don't do nothing but rot your teeth. And they do something funny to your blood. They take away our natural aggression. What's a human animal without aggression? I say eat meat and plenty of it. The redder the better. Keeps you on your toes. It keeps you watching.
Well, we certainly are thrilled that you've chosen to put aside your personal nutritional rules to be with us here today.
No, you don't give a damn what I do or I don't eat, Miss Peabody, and you know it. You're nothing but a nosy busybody that just does these events to show that you're doing something useful with the precious little time you've got left on this world.
The money raised tonight will go to helping those less fortunate than ourselves, Judge Cogsworth.
The only reason they're less fortunate than me is that they don't get off their tails to get out there and get any place.
You don't really believe that, do you?
No, I just said it to hear myself talk. Of course I meant it with all of my heart. There's nobody in this country that isn't poor because of his own account. Why, there's lots of jobs out there. On the way here this evening, I saw 2 signs up in fast food places that said, "Help wanted, £8 an hour." Now, you can't tell me if there anybody that wanted a job couldn't get work.
But, Judge!
But, Judge, I don't want to hear any of your bleeding heart liberal nonsense. I'm sure that you've ruined enough kids expounding your philosophies in front of the classroom over the years.
I always tried to present both sides.
There aren't 2 sides to this issue, woman. People need to just get out there, work, work, work. And that's the only way to achieve any sort of satisfaction.
But what if they can't?
There aren't any who can't. Do you remember Billy Joe Ratseller?
I can't say I had the pleasure.
Yes, good boy. Good boy. Came from a big family. That's the only kind you know. Lots of kids to help with the chores. Anyway, Billy Joe, ever since he was a little kid, wanted to be an airplane pilot. He used to look up at the planes flying overhead and say, "That's what I want to do."
So he worked hard and now he runs British Airways.
Wrong! I forgot to mention, Billy Joe wasn't the brightest star in the heavens. In fact, it was a good day if he had 2 brain cells ticking. But he never gave up. He managed to get a job at Jet Burgers. Do you remember that place?
Yes, it was closed down by the FSA or something.
Ah, yes, that came later, but Billy Joe got to wear a pilot's uniform and he was prouder than a peacock during mating season. Anyway, one day he was frying French fries and some of the fat splashed up, caught him in the eyes, blinded him all in the left eye and half in his right.
Oh, how awful.
Oh, yes, but it ain't a pretty bleeding heart story, is it? But he didn't give up. Didn't give up.
But he couldn't see.
Yes, but he couldn't see, but he didn't give up. He managed to get out there and he invented the pilot pillow. It's this pillow that you take onto an aeroplane and it's got this Velcro thing you stick to the back of the seat. Anyway, Billy Joe stuffs any one of those babies and it's his company. He's made a fortune, and the best part is he gets to fly wherever he wants to go to keep those orders coming in.
Well, that's most enlightening, Judge Cogsworth.
Of course it is, but it ain't no bleeding heart story for liberals, is it?
No, well, shall we get on with the contest?
Oh, what do I have to do?
Well, we have had 41 contestants, which I think is wonderful. Let's have a round of applause for all of those who entered our contest. Many of you are in our audience tonight. Such delicious desserts. I gained several pounds just trying the recipes.
Big surprise, eh?
Anyway, our procedure was to read all of the recipes to decide which of these could be prepared in any kitchen. That eliminated several. Mr. Allen, your recipe for monkey bread required 1 orangutan, and seeing as we don't have any of those in our local grocer, we couldn't choose yours. And Mrs. Ellenshaw, your recipe for Navajo bread required 1 outdoor adobe oven. Seeing as we don't have any of those, we couldn't use yours either. Delicious, though I'm sure it would have been. Anyway, we whittled the number down to 3, and now, judges, it's your job to decide which of these is the best desserts. We will then give £1,000 to the favourite charity of the winner.
So what if I don't like any of the 3?
But you have to like one of them.
No, I don't.
But, Judge, These are all delicious desserts, prepared by our finest cooks in town.
Like who?
Scooter Bright, for one.
Scooter Bright can cook. I didn't know it takes a few brains out to cook. I didn't know she had it in her.
Well, she has made a delicious raspberry tart. And then Mrs. Edna May Carter has made...
Edna May Carter, that old maid librarian.
Miss Carter has made a delicious family cake. I'm certain you'll like it. It's called Frugal Fruit Cake. And finally, Mrs. Margaret Mason.
Mason, the rich one.
Mrs. Mason has made a delicious mason torte. Now, where is your clipboard?
Oh, what do I need a clipboard for?
To score the desserts.
If I'd known I'd have to write something down, I wouldn't have agreed to this. I would have said no.
Honestly, Judge Cogsworth, come with me.
Oh.
I'm sure I left it back.
Crying out loud.
I don't want to go through with this, Mrs. Bright. What's with the Mrs. Bright? My name's Scooter. You remember that when I was just a baby, don't you?
Hardly.
Now, you remember when my mum used to take me over to your place to clean? You make me sit on your porch on the account that I was just too dirty.
I remember no such thing.
Scooter Thomas, you always say when Mama was upstairs cleaning, you're nothing but trash.
Really, Mrs. Bright?
There you go again. It's Scooter. It's what I grew up with. And to think, here we are in the same cake contest. Ain't life funny?
A laugh a minute.
I didn't think it back then, but I thought you were a queen or something.
I may have had the odd courtier in my family tree, but no royalty as far as I know.
Well, you just tell that to country life. Why, you used to wear the fanciest clothes and had your hair dyed up real nice.
I have never dyed my hair.
Go on. You couldn't fool a little kid like me. I mean, one day you're going ways of pavement, and the next day you're a redhead.
I may have had my colour touched up.
Touched up? Well, honey, they used to wrestle with your hair. And you know what else I liked? It were them pretty glasses that you drank out of, and you stuck them olives in them.
That was just ginger ale.
Well, it sure didn't fit. And one time, when you weren't looking, I stuck my finger in your glass.
Could that have been the time that I got jaundice?
Oh, honey, you can't get nothing from my germs. It'd be that turpentine you were drinking that would have killed everything.
So I liked a martini occasionally.
Yeah, you were a queen, all right. And I'm just so happy we're in the same class together. Here, Edna May Carter's put something in her cake.
Maybe she's trying to poison the judge.
Oh, Margaret, such a laugh. Why would anyone want to poison the judge?
I think it's the nature of his game, Scooter. You should realise that. You're in his courtroom often enough.
Go on. So I went in for a couple of things, like smoking, shoplifting, and a couple of other stuff.
That's not what I heard.
Oh, yeah? And what did you hear?
Really, Mrs. Bright, this is not the time to wash your dirty linen.
Just remember, I used to see a lot of your dirty linen when my mum used to clean your clothes. Margaret?
It's Mrs. Mason, as always.
And you know what your problem is?
Really, this is preposterous.
You still think you're better than everyone. But we've all got different rights now. We've all got equal rights. We've got things like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Why don't you go and pursue your happiness somewhere less obvious, Mrs. Bright?
Oh, well, my raspberry tart is gonna win this thing. One taste of it is gonna send the judge.
Oh, where? To A&E to have his stomach pumped?
Well, it'll be that ton of bricks you bang.
I have you know, I've always been asked for this recipe.
By the contractor going. It works better than cement, the fellas tell me.
Oh, fellas, the inspiration for your raspberry tart.
Well, ladies, are we ready to begin?
Ready, willing and able.
Wonderful. Then why don't you retire backstage?
Oh, Miss Peabody, I'm never gonna retire.
Very well. Then why don't you wait back here while the judge judges each of your delicious creations?
May I take this opportunity, Miss Peabody, to thank you for all the hard work you've put into bringing this wonderful charity bake-off.
Oh, well, thank you, Mrs. Mason. But really, my thanks will be giving the cheque for £1,000 to the favourite charity of the winner. Shall we get started?
I'll see you later when you give me the cheque.
Remember, Scooter, never count your chickens.
No, but I can count on my raspberry tart.
Judge Cogsworth, it's time to come out now.
Oh, not dressed like this.
Come on, Judge. It's nearly time to begin the festivities.
I feel like an idiot.
Nonsense. Nobody will think anything of it.
If I'd known I was going to be forced to dress up like Mary Berry, I wouldn't have agreed to this whole stupid thing.
Now, calm down. You don't want to get your nice suit dirty.
I'm here to taste the damn things, not wear them, for crying out loud. Oh, for goodness sakes, what's happened now?
Oh, we've blown a fuse, that's all. Roger!
Who's Roger?
Our caretaker. Roger, have you got an extra fuse?
Ouch, Miss Peabody, watch where you're stepping, please.
I'm over here, Judge.
Well, somebody just stepped on my foot, right on the corn that's been giving me grief.
Hello? Is there anybody here? Hello?
Miss Peabody, oh dear, watch it out. I wouldn't think an old lady like you would.
Would what?
Oh, well, you know, I mean...
Judge Cogsworth, really?
How you did it, but you got fresh with me when the night went.
Judge Cogsworth, that's unthinkable.
I've seen the way you've been looking at me. It all makes sense now.
What makes sense?
The way you've been looking at me.
Excuse me, but Roger has asked me to let you know that he has fixed the problem. But the snowstorm is getting worse, and the snow on the line mustn't knock out the electricity. It could happen again.
Why, thank you, Miss Carter. And seeing as you were chosen by lot to be our first contestant, why don't we get started?
Fine with me. I'd like to get home soon to feed my cat.
I thought you might have put him in your dessert.
You know me better than that, Judge Cogsworth.
Right, well, the judge will ask you a few questions to better acquaint you with our audience, and then he will taste your wonderful cake.
What's so wonderful about it?
If it wasn't wonderful, we wouldn't have eaten it. He will then score your cake according to its taste, texture, presentation, and ease of preparation.
I understand completely.
Wonderful, Miss Carter, then. The best of luck.
Well,
What's your name?
you know my name.
It says here, ask your name. They don't know your name, for crying out loud.
Don't you adopt that told me, you old curmudgeon?
Adopt? I wouldn't adopt children if they came with a £10 million check.
I realize your opinion of children, Judge Cogsworth. Remember?
That's not on the questionnaire. Just give us your name, please.
Edna. Edna May Carter.
And what do you do for a living, Edna May Carter?
Miss Carter to you. And I'm currently the head librarian of the town library.
And you've been there, what, 50 or 60 years?
24.
And what are your hobbies, Miss Carter?
I'd like to read.
Nothing like mountain climbing or making goat's cheese?
I'd like to read.
Anything particular?
Anything at all.
Oh, I bet you're a fun, eh?
Oh, you ought to know.
Oh, well, perhaps we'd better look at this thing here of yours. Anyway, have you got any family?
My cat, Moo.
But isn't that Moo too?
If you want to be technical, but I don't want to dredge your terrible memories.
Well, perhaps we'd better get to this dessert of yours.
It's called frugal fruitcake.
Sounds cheap.
It's a recipe from the Depression.
Yes, looks depressing, all right.
I have done extensive research during that period, and this is one of the more popular recipes that come out of that era.
Really? So, what's in it?
Not much,
Oh, I gathered that.
just flour, molasses, vinegar, wild berries, and baking powder.
Oh, yes. And my last question is, what are you going to do with the prize money if you win it?
I'm going to give mine to the Cat Protection League.
You're kidding!
I can give it to anyone I want.
You're planning to give £1,000 to cats?
I love cats.
Well, I hate her!
I know. I'll never forget how much we cats, Judge Cogsworth.
That was a long time ago.
Seems it was yesterday.
Oh, watch out as you'll get tears in your
I don't care.
What happened?
Oh, females.
Oh, I suppose you insulted Miss Carter's cake.
I haven't even tasted it.
Well, do then. That's what you're here for, right, ladies and gentlemen?
I have to try this.
Judge, honestly.
Oh, it tastes like a barn door.
Oh, really? Just score the taste, texture, presentation, and ease of preparation.
I can read.
Good. Then I'll announce our next contestant, Miss Lucy Scooter Bright.
All right, Miss Peabody.
Hello, Scooter, and I take it you know the judge.
Sure do. All right, Daddy.
So,
I was in his courtroom more than he was.
Wonderful. Then I'll let you two get on with the judging.
Thanks, Miss P. So, Judge, you want to interrogate me?
yes, I've got a question or two.
I've always liked being in your courtroom. You're a mighty, strong, handsome fellow.
Is that so?
Yeah. So, what do you want to know?
Well, what's your name?
You know my name, do you want to?
Yes, but they might not.
I'm Lucy Scooter Bright. Scooter because that is what I got for my second birthday. A scooter. I've always wanted to go fast because it really gets me going. Ain't that right, Judge?
I wouldn't know anything about that, sweetheart.
You're too modest.
And what do you do for a living?
I own and manage Lucy Scooter's nail salon. We do manicures, pedicures and fancy nail painting. We got written up in the Daily Mail.
Why is that, Scooter? Somebody get gangrene from one of your pedicures?
No, silly. It was for the Queen's birthday last year. I painted the history teacher's fingernails with portraits of the Golden Jubilee.
I bet she didn't wash for a week.
What? She? No, it was Mr. Blimpmore and he got suspended.
For crying out loud, let's see what this thing is here. Where is it? Here.
My raspberry tart. It's yummy.
Yes. What's in it?
It's got juicy ripe raspberries. It's got cream cheese in it. It's got sugar.
Nice.
It's got almonds. And it's got a bunch of secret goodies.
Old family recipes, is
You're kidding. I'm the only one that can make a tart in his family.
And have you got a family?
Yes, my husband Greg.
Is he here tonight?
You're kidding. He's out shooting. He's got 3 deer licenses and 4 pheasant licenses.
You can only have one license for each, Miss Bright.
Oh, that would be why he told me not to tell anybody.
So, what does this husband of yours do, Mrs. Bright?
Judge, you ought to know. He said he came in last week. He owns a Bright Sports Centre down in Warrior Square. Said you came in and bought a cross tracker or something. Are you keeping slim and trim, Your Honour?
Say that again.
What, about Greg owning a sports centre, or you keeping slim and trim?
Say your honour.
Your Honour? What's with you? Miss Peabody! Miss Peabody! What's wrong?
She reminds me of somebody.
Is that it? He had me all scared, honest.
Oh, honestly, Judge, you're supposed to be judging the desserts, not frightening the contestants.
I didn't do a thing, Miss Peabody.
Honest, he went all atomic on me.
Catatonic.
That too.
Have you tasted the dessert yet?
The way she said your honour was just like... very strange.
This really is delicious, Scooter. Here, Judge. Try some.
What are you doing? Oh,
Now,
goodness.
if you'd be so kind as to give it a score, we can get on with our final contestant.
And in case you're wondering, I used real raspberries, not the kind you find in the frozen aisle. And the cream cheese is low fat, because there's no sense of getting more fat and calories than what body can take. Ain't that right, Grant?
Well, I am not endorsing anything, Mrs. Bright.
Well, you enjoy as much of that tart as you want, Judgy Wudgy.
Honestly, Judge Cogsworth, you're being positively horrible to both the contestants and to our audience.
Well, what do they care? Just look at them out there, ready for somebody to stick a knife in my back. But I've been on the bench far too long not to learn how to protect myself. And most of you don't know this, but I was an SAS sergeant, and I was the best man in my squad.
Really, Judge, I think you're paranoid. And before you ruin the entire evening, let's have our final contestant, Mrs. Margaret Mason. Thank you, Miss Peabody. And much as it pains me, Mrs. Mason, I'll turn you over to the judge.
Oh, I don't mind a bit.
So you're Mrs. Mason.
You know who I am, Judge Cogsworth. You know very well.
I'm supposed to ask the questions. Now let me do this right.
What's stopping you?
What do you do for a living?
My husband owns this village. Is that sufficient?
And you do nothing.
I'm involved in various charity and parish organisations throughout the village. Write that down if you can spell it all.
Oh, comedian.
What else do you want to know?
And what hobbies do you have?
I enjoy cooking, needlework, and murder mysteries.
So you like violence, do you?
I like things a little bit more subtle, like poisons.
This thing here of yours poisoned, is it?
If I'd known you were going to be the judge, I'd have made sure I laced it with enough cyanide to knock a whole herd of cattle.
I could have you arrested for that.
Sorry, but as you've already noted, I'm a comedian.
Let's just get on with this thing here of yours.
I call it my Mason tort. It's a light French chocolate cake, layered with fresh cream and black cherry filling throughout.
Ugh, sounds disgusting.
The chef to the King of Austria was executed because he refused to reveal the secrets of its wonderful taste to the king.
And I suppose you're wanting us to believe that this guru genie thing of yours came in a vision to give you the recipe. Well, I'm just about sick and tired of this New Age nonsense.
The chef was my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather.
I'm surprised you can count that high.
Oh, I can count very well, Judge. Particularly when it comes to money. You should know that.
Oh, yes. Well, what is in it anyway? Shall we try this thing of yours?
My tort. It's to die for.
Oh dear, not again!
Judge, what are you doing?
I'm trying to... Where is it? I'm trying to cut a piece of this stuff here.
Not in the dark, you're ruining it.
Don't anybody move! It'll be on again in a moment. I hope.
Thank goodness.
Judge, where are you? Judge Cogsworth?
I had you all scared there for a moment, didn't I, eh?
Really, Judge?
I see.
Just score the dessert and then we can announce our winner.
Here, try some.
Why do I feel like a king's taster?
Because you are one, my dear, you are one.
Oh. Oh.
What's wrong? What's wrong?
Oh, it's divine, that's all. Divine. Oh, here, try some.
Not again. Oh.
Oh, honestly, anybody would think we were out to kill you.
Well, if you'd been on the bench as long as I had, you'd worry too, my dear.
Really, Judge Cogsworth, we're respectable members of the community. Who would ever think any of us would stoop so low as to harm you in public?
Oh, you wouldn't have to stoop, all right. You could harm me standing up. But I'm going to have the last laugh. Oh, yes, I'm going to have the last laugh.
Judge, you've never got a laugh and you know it. Here, Graham Norton, wipe your mouth.
Who do you think
chocolate
you are?
all
My
over
mother!
it. Well,
Goodness
nobody
sakes.
wants to see a judge that looks like a 4-year-old finishing
Right
his
out
chocolate milk.
Will you shove the stuff in my face?
Oh, if you would just kindly give it a score, we can announce the winner of £1,000.
I'll tell you what, you and your stupid ideas, why don't you just give this stuff away, give the money away, and forget about all this nonsense? Do you know what? You women, kill me! Oh.
I can't say for definite, but I think he's been poisoned.
Poisoned?
Just look at the blueness on his face and his fingernails. Yes, and there was no sign of discomfort before the reaction. I'm certain he's been poisoned.
So it's murder!
He almost was expecting it, wasn't he? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we'd better take a short break while I ring 999. Given the weather, I don't think they're going to be here anytime soon. So I think I'm going to need your help. Do feel free to wander around. There's lots of interesting information. Do feel free to look in our contestants' coat pockets if you feel the need. And do help yourself to your complimentary water. No expense spared. And then in a little while, when I've managed to ring the emergency services, I will come back and you can tell me what you've found, okay? Thank you so much.